Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to URKG. This is your latest Real Madrid news and transfer news. Could Martín Zubimendi actually become a Real Madrid player? Because there's a big development this morning with Arsenal now reportedly willing to listen to offers for the Spanish midfielder. We'll talk about that. We also have a fresh news in regards to Camavinga. An update, is Manchester United are going in for him? Are they still interested in him? Plus, new development around Mendy and Raúl Asencio. Real Madrid continue to work on possible exits. A lot to get into that. A lot to get into. Big up to every single one of you in the chat as always. Before we get started, smash that like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Comment your thoughts in the comment section. We're running a poll right now. Should Real Madrid enter the race for Zubimendi? That is the conversation we're having. Look, this caught my eye this morning, chat. This really caught my eye this morning. Big up to Rashid, Chicken, Hill. Who else we have? Business Idea, Ellie. Bring Bastoni, says Ellie. But let's talk about this video. Let's talk about this because this is the first news that just came out today. This story is, I want to really kind of spend a little bit of time on this one because just a few days ago, we were basically talking about Zubimendi as another midfielder who Real Madrid had considered probably were not going to pursue, right? The news is coming out today, though. Fresh news coming out today in regards to Zubimendi. Arsenal are prepared to listen to offers for Martín Zubimendi following the signing of Bruno Guimarães. That's what they're saying. And Chelsea are now firmly in the race with Xabi Alonso pushing to reunite with the Spanish midfielder. Arsenal would only consider bids of at least 90 M's, while Real Madrid are also keeping tabs on the development. And that's what I want to focus on. That's what I want to focus on. The situation now could be changing because the latest reports are saying now that Arsenal are prepared to listen to offers for Zubimendi following the signing of Bruno Guimarães. I've been telling you guys that. I've been telling all the Arsenal fans. I've been telling every single one of you in the chat that the reason why Bruno Guimarães has been signed by Arsenal is because they're considering bids. They're thinking about getting rid of Zubimendi. They're thinking about selling either Luis Kelly or Zubimendi. They wouldn't just be signing Guimarães and expect everybody to stay calm and everybody's going to be cool. No. And immediately now, Madrid perspective, from Real Madrid perspective, right? This should get our attention 100% because this is a massive difference between trying to convince Arsenal to sell a player they don't want to lose and Arsenal themselves being willing to listen and to sit down and discuss a transfer. That changes the entire situation, I think, because Chelsea are reportedly firmly in the race now. They want to sign him. That's what it says. And also Xabi Alonso apparently wants to reunite with Zubimendi, and Madrid are keeping tabs on what is happening. That's what we want to focus on because after looking at this, it just gives me, more belief and confidence, which we've been covering throughout the, last few weeks in these shows, right? We've been consistently saying Zubimendi. I mean, because if Madrid is genuinely like the player, if Mourinho still wants another midfielder, and if you already missed out on Rodri, this is the exact type of situation where Real Madrid should at least make the call. I'm not saying pay 90 M's for Zubimendi tomorrow. I'm not saying panic because Chelsea are interested now. But Real Madrid should be asking, is Zubimendi genuinely available? That's the first question. Is 90 M's really the price that we're going to pay for Zubimendi if we are interested in Zubimendi? Is that negotiable? What does the player want? How serious are Chelsea? And would Zubimendi prefer Real Madrid if he had the choice? All these are the questions that needs to be answered. If Zubimendi is genuinely available, should Real Madrid enter the race? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Yes or no. Because for me, at a minimum, I think Real Madrid have to investigate this. They really, really have to investigate this. I'm a Zubi fan. I'm online, says Xavi. Mike says Arsenal would sell Zubimendi if it wasn't washed. Bring Bastoni and Zubimendi now, says Ellie. Look, Zubimendi and Enzo are washed. I don't believe so. I honestly do not believe so. You might think that way. I don't believe so. Why this could be, a second chance for Real Madrid, I'll tell you in a minute. Because what makes this interesting is that Zubimendi is not some random name that suddenly appeared this morning. We've been discussing it, right? Real Madrid had been linked with him before. His profile has been discussed for a long time now, and Madrid's need for greater control in the middle of the park has also been discussed for a long time on this show. We've talked about it. That's why I look at this as a potential second chance for Real Madrid. Madrid missed out on Rodri. I'm not discussing Rodri right now. Whether people agree with that decision or not, the situation is finished in regards to Rodri. We know that. So what comes next now? What is Madrid willing to do? What are we going to do? Do Real Madrid just say, yo, okay, we missed out on Rodri, we're done in the transfer window? Or do you actually keep watching the market for another player who can solve some of the, same problems that we've been having this season? Last season and the season before, right? And we've seen some sort of it in preseason as well. Zubimendi gives you something different. Real Madrid have, look, let's make something clear, right? Real Madrid already have a midfielder who can run, who can carry the ball, who can win duels, who can attack spaces, who can cover, huge distance, who can drive the team forward. We've got all of that. But Madrid sometimes is the player who can simply control the speed of the game. I've been saying it. The guy like Toni Kroos, we don't have it. Name me one player in the team that is like Toni Kroos. We don't have it, even though we got a lot of midfielders. Camavinga is not it. Tchouaméni is not it. Bellingham, Valverde, they're not it. Thiago Patage is not it. That's why we keep talking about Zubimendi, right? Zubimendi, somebody that can receive the ball from the center backs, play through pressure, give defenders, an easy passing options or passing lanes, and move, the opposition around and decide when Real Madrid, need to attack the game, when Real Madrid need to slow down. This is basically where Zubimendi's conversation is just becoming interesting. This isn't about him being better than, every midfielder that we have. It's about the profile. Sometimes you can have 5 excellent midfielders and still be missing a specific type of, midfielder, right? That's what Madrid need to determine. Does Mourinho believe Zubimendi gives him something his current midfielder doesn't have? And if the answer is yes, then Madrid should be much more aggressive in this race. We have to entertain this conversation. We have to entertain this conversation. We can't just sit there and say we're not interested, we're not spending money, right? And the next thing I want to mention, right, I'm going to read some of the comments. No choice, no spot left in the squad. I'm going to get into that. Adventure, big up yourself. Someone says, I think Real Madrid don't go for Zubimendi because Camavinga is staying. Also, I think Real Madrid transfer window is shut. Look, it's not shut. It's not shut. Rajan says, sell Zubimendi 200 to Real Madrid. Buy him now. 200 is not realistic. We're not going to be doing that. We won't be doing that. Obviously, we're not going to be doing that. So the 90 M's that is being discussed right now, our Arsenal reportedly won't even consider offer below the 90 M's. And immediately, I know people are going to say, 90 M's for Zubimendi? No chance. I know a lot of you guys are saying that, including me. And I understand. 90 M's is a serious money. That's a superstar level money. That's not a small gamble, right? So Madrid just cannot panic. Chelsea entering the race cannot make Real Madrid behave emotionally, right? Real Madrid should not get into some ridiculous bidding war here. Arsenal is asking for 90. Chelsea could offer 90 or 85 or 65. Madrid can offer more or less. It all depends on what? It all depends on the first situation. The first move is the negotiation that needs to happen between Chelsea and Arsenal. We have to be on the lookout. We don't have to bid right now. See the situation. What kind of price is Arsenal is going to accept for Zubimendi? How much are they going to accept for Zubimendi? Because we can play the same book that we played with Diomande. Diomande agreed with Paris Saint-Germain already. and the Diomande, I mean, Paris Saint-Germain and Leipzig were negotiating numbers, and Madrid found out the exact number. They found out the exact number, and they just got in and offered the money that Leipzig needed, and the player accepted, and game over. We signed Diomande on top of Paris Saint-Germain, and Paris Saint-Germain are still not happy. I would do the same thing here, right? Don't just jump in right now. You can wait and test the water. At the same time, we have to think about how Madrid can actually enter the race. Find out what Zubimendi wants first. Ask him, does he really want to does he really want to come to Real Madrid? That's the first question. I mean, if he's not interested in joining Real Madrid, what's the point of even entertaining this topic, right? There's no point of entertaining this topic if he doesn't want to come. But if he wants to come and he accepts that he's desperate to come to Real Madrid, then the next thing we need to do is, obviously, we can't wait until Chelsea has, everything agreed, right? We don't want that to happen. But we have to facilitate. We have to create room for sales. We have to find spots. Right now, the team is full. Somebody said it in the chat. Right now, it's impossible for Real Madrid to add just more bodies in. We have to sell first in order for us to buy. And that's what the conversation comes with Mendy and Asencio. I'm going to cover that story later on the show, because Madrid reportedly want both players moved before the transfer window closes. If Real Madrid can sell Mendy or Asencio and potentially Camavinga as well, you're potentially creating a transfer income, you're creating a salary space, you're creating a squad space, and that makes signing easier. That makes going after somebody like Zubimendi makes it easier. We can convince him, we can sign him, we can afford him. But sometimes, fans are looking at every deal. I mean, every individual deal. Sell Mendy, sell Asencio, buy Zubimendi. But clubs look at the entire squad. You've got to look at the entire squad. We have to look at the entire squad. If we move two players out, suddenly the financial picture completely changes, in my opinion. But what would you guys do? I mean, some people are saying, switch and sell Camavinga right now. And some fans were saying, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with Camavinga's performance so far in preseason. Does that mean that we can trust Camavinga now? We don't need another midfielder. We could just trust Camavinga, right? Trust Camavinga to stay in the team and give him another opportunity. Some fans are saying that. I would say if there's a chance for Zubimendi, go get Zubimendi. If we can't get him, obviously, we're going to have to trust Camavinga. But if we have options to sell, I think this is the time. This is the time to make a move. This is the time to approach the situation. We can't just sit there and pretend nothing is happening. The way Mourinho wants to play, we need more speed through the middle and get this ED, put him on the reserve list for 20, says Silva. Ellie says, I think we need at least Champions League or La Liga if we sign Bastoni and Zubimendi and sell Camavinga and Asencio or even Mendy. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. It's becoming really difficult, but that's exactly what I want to see, right? TSRF says, I don't trust Camavinga. How many people actually trust Camavinga? Say yes or no. Do you trust Camavinga? First of all, I want to hear what everybody's feeling right now, right? KG Martin was not playing yesterday. That is a good sign. That's what I'm saying. Like, this news is telling us right now, right? Arsenal are prepared to listen to offers for Zubimendi. I've been telling Arsenal fans that Arsenal is willing to sell Zubimendi. And somebody in the comments said, we just signed him last summer for 80 M's or something. Arteta's not going to sell him. What? Arteta is going to sell him. Why the hell did Arteta sign Bruno Guimarães then? If he believes in Zubimendi. He already have Declan Rice in there. He can play Eze in there. He can play Luis Kelly in there. So he has bodies already in that position. But the signing of Bruno Guimarães tells me that is an improvement to whatever you have in the squad. And that shows me that Arteta doesn't really trust Zubimendi. And we've seen it in the Champions League final. He didn't play the Champions League final. At the latter stages of the season, he didn't play a lot of minutes, which is why I'm saying that needs to happen. So Elias says no. TSRF says no. Pedro says no. Jamil says yes. Silva says yes because no choice now. Look, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is what I want to talk about. The other argument is that people saying, why Zubimendi when we already have Tchouaméni? I've seen people say that. And I don't think it's that simple. Tchouaméni gives you physical power, defensive protection, aerial ability, tackling, transition and defending, covering spaces. This is what Tchouaméni gives you. But Zubimendi gives you tempo, positioning, first phase build-up, short pass combinations, playing through pressure, controlling possession. Those are different strengths. Imagine certain matches, right? Against a team that wants to counterattack. Zubimendi plus Tchouaméni could give Madrid a huge control. Against a team that is sitting deep, maybe you could play Zubimendi behind. You don't even need Tchouaméni. You can play Valverde and Bellingham. You could play Goulart and Bellingham. You see what I'm saying? You can have a lot of different options, or you can have Bernardo Silva coming inside as well. So Zubimendi wouldn't just give Madrid another midfield. He would give Mourinho another way of building his midfield. I keep saying it. That's why I don't automatically dismiss the transfer, because Tchouaméni is already here, yes. But Zubimendi is something different, chat. He is something different in my opinion. I'm going to move on to the next topic. Before I do, I want to get your thoughts in. Harsh, big up for the gifts. Soso says, same way we heard that Arsenal are offering Luis Skelly. Yeah, right. People are bored. Look, these are rumors doesn't come out of nowhere, chat. You have to understand. I'm not saying every rumor is going to happen, but rumors usually happens because something is cooking. Most of the time, whether it's going to happen or not, it's a different conversation. It's a different question. But what you need to understand is they just don't put rumor out of their ass, right? Something is cooking. Something is cooking, and it is happening. And I want to move on to the next thing because we have a lot to cover today. But keep this in mind. The second thing I want to mention, which leads to the conversation, it leads us to the first topic we just discussed about Zubimendi, the possibility of signing Zubimendi, yes or no. It leads us to that, right? This is the second part I want to mention, right? Manchester United interest in Eduardo Camavinga has led Real Madrid to consider a potential sale this summer. Yes, however, the French midfielder has made his position clear. He wants to stay at the Bernabeu, regardless of the offer that arrives. This is, again, it's coming from The Athletic this morning. Again, Camavinga discussion is just keep going and going and going. And we had that discussion yesterday as well. But Camavinga has made his position clear. He wants to stay at Real Madrid. Look, I like that he believes in himself. I like that he wants to fight. He wants to fight for the position. I like that he's got that confidence, but I want him to go. I think we've given him enough chance to shine at Real Madrid, and he didn't shine. He struggled. He struggled at Real Madrid. Let's keep it 100. He struggled at Real Madrid. I don't think he had a good season at Real Madrid. I mean, the best season he had was what, 2-3 years ago now? When the time that he played last World Cup in 2022, 2023, that was the season that he had. But other than that, Camavinga has been, injury prone, has been unavailable for the team. And every time he played, he cost the team. That's what we saw. That is exactly what we saw. And I want this guy to go. I honestly want this guy to go. And I want to ask the chat, would you sell Camavinga to get Zubimendi? Yes or no? Yes or no? Because that's what I want to hear from you guys. If it was me, obviously, I would definitely accept selling Camavinga. We somehow need to push him out. Sometimes players need a little bit of push. A little bit of push. If Mourinho comes out and tells Camavinga, yo, you're not part of my plan. I don't see you in my team. I don't see you fit in order the formation or in order the ways that I'm planning to line up. I don't see you doing that. He can come out and say that, right? Mourinho could come out and say that. If he tells him that, I don't think Camavinga is going to say, yo, okay, I'm still going to consider staying in. I don't think he's going to say that. I think he's going to be willing to go out. But he needs assertion. He needs confirmation. He needs confirmation from Mourinho and from the club. The club obviously is willing to listen to offers, so he knows the club is not interested in holding on to him. The only thing left right now is José Mourinho, which is why I've been begging José Mourinho. Just say what needs to be said so he can move on. And we can get somebody that can actually complement the midfield. To be fair, Camavinga has been decent in preseason. He's had a good preseason. But we're talking about what? We're talking about 3-4 games. We're talking about teams, what? We're talking about teams like Frank Rovers Deportivo, Leganes. What are the teams that we played? Let me just make sure. These are the teams that he did okay with, right? Fiorentina. So are you really going to judge Camavinga is good or bad based on the preseason game, first of all? And then second of all, based on these teams that I just mentioned, do you think he's going to be good enough for Real Madrid? I don't think so. I highly doubt Camavinga is good enough for us. Yes, we don't have other options. If we can't sign Zubimendi, if we can't sign Stella, if we can't sign another midfielder, of course we got to hold on. I'm not saying get rid of him, but if there's an option to somehow exchange, sell him, get some funds, and then use that fund on somebody else, I'm all for that. I'm all 100% for that. Mourinho was instructing him during the match yesterday, says Silva. I saw that. TSRF says, did you see yesterday he was struggling against the pressure versus Depot? Yes, TSRF, we've seen him lose the ball consistently. When he gets pressured, he can't deal with it. He's good at, dribbling. He's good at, he's not even good at passing, but he's good at some interceptions and stuff. He's got speed, but he is not good at controlling midfield. He's not that guy. He is not that guy. Hardship says if Camavinga needs to get full play time, then Real Madrid is not his place. He must move on. Any other big club also, he must keep in his mind he would be given less priority by José Mourinho on rotation. I don't think José Mourinho has told him that. That's the problem. I mean, most of you guys are saying no. And some people are saying yes. Would you sell Camavinga? But what I'm saying is that if Mourinho sees Tchouaméni ahead of him, if he sees Valverde ahead of him, if he sees Bellingham and Bernardo Silva ahead of him, and potentially another midfielder coming in, why the hell is Camavinga wanting to stay? I don't understand. Unless Jose Mourinho has made it absolutely clear that he wants to keep him. Why the hell would he stay? Answer that question to me. I can't seem to understand what his plan is. I cannot seem to understand what his plan is. At some point, he's gonna need consistency. He's gonna need to start every game. He's gonna need a performance. He's got to stop this unnecessary mistakes that he's been doing, and he's gonna need a defined role, or something like 5 to 10 games in a row. I don't think he's going to get that. I honestly don't think he's going to get that at Real Madrid. Do you guys actually think he's going to get that? Honestly, I don't. I honestly don't. Mike says Camavinga can play in every position. Yes, the fact that he can play in every position, you could argue it's best to keep him. But at the same time, you need somebody that is quality in one thing. I don't want somebody that is 6 out of 10 in every position. I want somebody 10 out of 10 in one position. Sometimes that's what you need. And in Real Madrid case now, we don't need somebody versatile. We have enough midfielder to cover that versatility. What we need is a specialist. Rodri's a specialist. Toni Kroos is a specialist. Vitinha is a specialist. Zubimendi is a specialist in that. I'm not saying he's better than other midfielders, but in that particular role that we want the midfield to do. So that's what we're talking about, right? Not to mention his injuries and stuff. So for me, in my position is, unless Manchester United, if Manchester United give us an offer, a decent, good enough offer that we can utilize and get somebody in, I'll definitely accept it. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I'm going to do. From 50 to 60, 70 M's, I'm definitely accepting that. And then I'm going all out to get Zubimendi with that money. That's what I would do. If I'm the manager, if I'm the board, if I'm Florentino Perez, that's what I would do. If Camavinga is saying I'm not trying to leave, then somehow convince him that he's got no future at the club and therefore he's going to decide to leave. It's hard to do it, but it's part of the business. That's what needs to happen, to have a complete team, to have a team that can compete, against Barcelona, PSG, Bayern Munich. We need to do that. We need to have a balanced team. We can't just let players stay in and collect cash. It just can't happen. It can't happen. TSRF says it cannot be changed. It's too late. When somebody renews, they cannot leave yet. It's not too late. We still have over 2 weeks of this transfer window. So it's not really late, bro. It is not really late. In my opinion, it's not really late. We still have options to do some sort of deal, to do some sort of exchange. And that's what I want to see. That is going to be my position in regards to that, 100%. But let me know in the comment section your thoughts about that. And also, this is the next one. Again, we're talking about needing to sell. We're talking about moving players on. And now, Real Madrid are looking to move Ferland, Mendy and Raúl Asencio before the summer transfer window closes. Mendy's injuries record has pushed Real Madrid towards a sale, while Asencio is also considered available. But so far, the club have made little progress in finding buyers for either players. And that is coming from AS again. Usually they cover a lot of Real Madrid stuff. And Marca and AS, they cover a lot of Madrid stuff. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, these two, I'm tired. Really exhausted talking about these two. I've been saying these two need to leave for like how many days and weeks and years now. Ever since last season, I've been saying these two has to leave. And look, this isn't because Mendy has been, a really bad player. For example, Mendy has been excellent. He's a good, excellent defender 1v1. He's very difficult to beat. He had a good performance against Bayern Munich. He's experienced. He's played in a huge Champions League games, finals. The issue is availability. With Mendy, my issue is not quality. My issue is not, doubting the player. But you cannot build a long-term plan around somebody if you're constantly asking, is he going to be fit? Is he going to be fit? Is he ready tomorrow? Is he ready next week? That has been the problem. Injuries, comebacks, another setback, return again, another issue. That's that. Eventually, the club has to make a decision. But selling Mendy, it's not going to be easy. That is the problem, Chad. Would you sell him? Would you keep him? Let me know. I know 99% of you would say sell him. But who's going to buy him? Like, who's going to buy him? What salary is he going to get? What transfer fee are we asking for? Does he pass the medical? I don't even think he's going to pass the medical. Does Mendy want to move? That's also another question. He's got a contract, right? That's why Madrid have not found a solution yet. And this matters big time for Zubimendi. If Madrid can move players like Mendy, salary coming off of that book, transfer money coming in, squad space is opening up, every exit potentially makes the next signing easier. You understand? And Mendy is the guy I want us to get rid of, but I think it's going to be really, really complicated, and it's going to be really difficult to get rid of Mendy. To get rid of Mendy. That's just the way I see it. I like him as a player. If he's fit, I like him a lot. I think he's better than Carreras if he stays fit, in my opinion. He's better than Carreras if he stays fit. But he's just never fit. Never fit. Same situation with Militao. He's never fit. And that's one of the issues that we have with Mendy. It just keeps happening season after season after season. When is Florentino Perez going to get up and just rip the contract and say, yo, F off. I'm done with this guy. I could lose money. I'm done with this guy. Get off my face. When is he actually going to say that? That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking, bro. So that's my issue. Great. Appreciate that, Dono. Thanks for the super chat. He says M&M, Mendy and Militao are soft like the damn candies. They are great, keeping our doctors and physios busy. Yo, probably they have a job. Probably they have something to do because of these guys, because of Mendy, because of Militao. These guys getting injured, just making people occupied. They're making people, they're making the medical team occupied. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? And that's my problem, which leads me to the second point of Asencio. Asencio could also be leaving, according to this news that we're looking into right now. Madrid are reportedly open to moving him, and this is sort of different from Mendy because Asencio should have resale value. He's young. He's a center back. He's coming through Real Madrid. His clubs looking for defensive depth could see an option in him. The question for Real Madrid is, do you believe Asencio could eventually be a serious Real Madrid center back? If the answer is yes, I want to get your answers in the comments. But if the answer is yes, keep him and continue developing. If the answer is no, then this might be the moment to sell him. Especially his departure, again, is going to help us make another defensive signing. Bastoni is what we're discussing. Players like Bastoni, we can actually go after him. If we can sell Asencio, if we can actually get rid of this guy, if we can actually get rid of one of these two guys, we have the funds, we have the spot available to to bring players in, right? You understand what I'm saying? Or we can loan them out. We can sell them with a buyback clause. There's a lot of different options we could entertain in regards to Asencio, right? So why is the club not doing that? I know Asencio saying he's not leaving, but again, this is another player that Real Madrid is going to need another push. Just push him out the door. It needs a little bit of push. These two need some sort of push, right? Just push them out like this. Push them out like this. That's the only way they're going to go out. They're not going to go out by choice. They're not going to say, yo, we're leaving Madrid. They're not going to do that. So that needs to happen. The club has to make that decision. And the club has to decide to push them out the door. For me, these two are big, big problems at Real Madrid. Let me just go through some of the comments. Alex says, no Mendy at Man United. They want Camavinga. I know that. I'm not talking about Man United in regards to Mendy. Karim says, what's your dream center-back pairing? Bastoni and Militao. That is my dream center-back. Like, realistic dream at Real Madrid right now. And we can make that happen. If Militao could stay fit and Bastoni, we could definitely if we could get rid of somebody like Asencio. If we can get rid of this guy or these two, we definitely can afford Bastoni. And we definitely can afford Zubimendi as well. We might not even need to sell Camavinga if these two can leave. And then if we loan out Thiago Petach, that's 3 players gone. And all of a sudden, we can add 2 players in. You understand what I'm saying? 2 quality players in. Bring Bastoni in. Bring Zubi in. And we're complete. We're complete. Silva says, obviously, players needs to agree or be paid out. Says Silva. Around 20 M's to break the contract. Yeah, 20 M's is peanuts for Real Madrid. You understand what I'm saying? Harsh Deep says, I don't know if anybody is really looking for Mendy. And this Asencio has become a headache. Bro really injured himself to stay. I know. He did that in January as well, if I remember correctly. The same kid who eats too much during breakfast and vomits not to go to school. That's a good comparison. That's exactly the comparison that we wanted to talk about, really, because that's what he does. Pretty much that's what he does. He's just making reasons not to leave the team. He's like a magnet. He's like a parasite, bro. Have you guys watched the movie Parasite? It's a good show, by the way. Not show, but it's a good movie if you haven't seen it. One of the best movies, right? It was ranked top 10 or whatever in 2024, 23. I can't remember the exact year. But the point is, these two are like parasites. They just stay in your backyard or they stay in your basement and you can't even see them. And they just stay there. They're like a magnet. They don't want to leave. They stay there. They live there. They eat there. They drink there. They sleep there. But you just can't get rid of them. It's like that. That's what Asencio is for me. That's what Mendy is for me. Seriously. At least Camavinga is better than these fools, man. I swear. Angelo Stella for 50 M's. Now Zubimendi for 90. That is a good possibility. That is a good possibility, Enko. That is a good possibility. Asencio to Fulham. Yo, even Arbeloa doesn't want Asencio. Think about it. Arbeloa has pretty much signed everybody from Real Madrid. He took everybody. He took 2 players already. He took Gonzalo Garcia as well. He was looking at Thiago Petach as well, even though Madrid shut that door because Madrid know that if we can't add another midfielder, then Thiago Petach could be a choice, right? You don't want to let Thiago Petach without knowing that you're going to sign somebody else, right? So even Arbeloa was not interested in getting these fools, man. He doesn't want to go nowhere near these fools. He knows Asencio is a fraud. He's not a good center back. And I've been telling people this guy Asencio is an absolute fraud, bro. Absolute fraud. And that needs to change, bro. That needs to change. It just keeps happening. And that pisses me off. That really, really pisses me off, man. It really, really pisses me off. Benedict says, I don't know, Mendy and Charco is finished, bro. They both are trash, as Benedict. Absolutely, they are absolutely trash. If I ask anybody in the chat right now, would you want to keep Mendy or Asencio? I cannot hear anybody saying yes. I'll wait for you. But every single body on the chat, every single person in the chat right now, I'm absolutely certain that everybody will say, get rid of these fools. Just get rid of these fools. They have been a magnet, bro. Chicken says, what is the source? The source is AS. Of course, this is the source. If you haven't seen it, if you're just joining in, this is what we're talking about. Previously, we discussed about Zubimendi possibility of joining Real Madrid. We talked about that, and we're talking about Asencio, and we're talking about Mendy at this moment in time. JCino, big up for the dono. I appreciate it. Much love. W's for JCino. He says, KG, what's a good game to attend at the Santiago Bernabeu? I'm looking to visit Madrid next year and catch a game for the first time. Yo, think about this. The game you want to catch is the El Clasico. That's the game to go and watch, bro. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be extremely expensive for you. But that I would say that is the game you don't want to miss. You're probably going to spend closer to 5K just for that game. Possibly. But if there is a chance for me to go to Santiago Bernabeu, that would be the game I would pick. Definitely look at the Barcelona game, or just wait for the Champions League. Wait for the Champions League to get heated up, and then you maybe can go to one of the bigger games. Wait for the draw in the Champions League. We might be playing Manchester United. We might be playing another big team at Santiago Bernabeu. So wait for that to happen and then make a decision. That's what I recommend. Focus says sell both. Yep. That's what I'm saying. If we sell both, chat, if we actually sell both of them, it is going to be massive. You understand what I'm saying? It is going to be massive for Madrid. We can make a lot of moves. We can definitely change the squad. We can make this team a whole lot better than it is already. That's all I would say. But look, before we wrap up, I actually want to bring this in. And I thought this could be a really good conversation to have in the chat. A comparison of José Mourinho 4-2-3-1 lineup from 2026-2027 potentially versus the 2021 and 2012. I think this is going to be a really, really good combination. I mean, a conversation to have in the chat. I just thought it would be a good conversation to have. But let's take a look at this, chat. Let's take a look at this. This is the team that Mourinho is possibly going to be lining up with. This is probably his best team now, chat, isn't it? Maybe you can argue, and instead of Kanate, put Militao in there. But this is pretty much his best team now. His best team. Maybe you could take out Valverde, put Bellingham next to Tchouaméni, and then you could put out Regular as a 10. Right? As a 10. But this is the question I have. This is the question I have for every single one of you in the chat right now. Is this team better than this team? Yes or no? Yes or no? And I want to hear your chat. I'm gonna give you my opinion in a second. TSRF says Mendy's injured. We cannot sell him maybe in the January transfer window. That's the problem. That's the problem. I've talked about that already. XB says yes. 11-12 clear, says Oscar. Mighty Yellow says no. Wow. So this team is not better than the current team. So that's crazy. Obviously, no. Cristiano Clear says life. KG, did you see the list before the best coaches? I haven't seen it yet. Kareem says, do you think Trent will make up for Zubimendi's low chance creation stats? He could potentially, but Trent becomes really, really good. He works really well with SP. That's what I noticed, by the way. That's exactly what I noticed in the past few games. SP and Trent trying to find SP with crosses. I've seen that combination, so I think we're going to be using that in the upcoming season. That is the combination that we should be looking at for sure. But I want to get back to this. How many people saying no? Or how many people are saying this is better than that? The current team is garbage. What people are smoking 2011 and 2012 smokes the players today. I mean, let's go player by player. Let's go. I think we got time. We got time. Since we got time, we can go player by player and we can have this discussion. All right. If you're enjoying this show, by the way, smash that like. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 100. I want to start off from the goalkeeper department and I'm going to ask the chat, right? This is it, right? Courtois in goal. Right now is Courtois in goal. Back then, it was Casillas in goal. Who is better? Chat, let me know. Let me know right now. We're going to start off with the goalkeeper. Let me know. Who's better? I'm going to give you mine in a second. Oscar says Courtois. All right, spam it in the chat. Courtois or Casillas? Courtois or Casillas? Casillas clears. Courtois. Casillas. Nah, to be fair, I'm going to go with Courtois. Honestly, chat, I'm going to go with Courtois. I think Courtois is better than Casillas. Casillas, he was good, but if you remember La Decima, he nearly cost us that game. I think that was his declining year. That was the year that he was declining, and he could have cost us La Decima. He could have easily cost us La Decima. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like Courtois clears Casillas 100%. 100%. Courtois has been magnificent. Courtois has carried this weak Real Madrid. Not this year, not last year, but the season before. The season before that. It was a weak Real Madrid team. You remember the game against Dortmund. Dortmund in the final, in the Champions League final. Courtois single-handedly won us the game. I can go and talk about Liverpool Champions League final. Courtois was man of the match. Single-handedly won us the Champions League. You understand what I'm saying? Courtois carried a shit team. Casillas carried Cristiano up top. He worked with Ramos and Pepe, Marcelo, bro. It's different. It's absolutely different. For me, Courtois clears 100%. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Trent. Trent versus Arbeloa. Who we picking, chat? Who are we going with? Is there a way I can actually put this side by side? I might be willing to put this side by side. But who you going with, chat? Who you going with? Trent or Arbeloa? That's the conversation that we're having. Would you take Trent? Would you take Arbeloa? Who's better? Navas is better than both of them. That's not the question, though. Is that the question? That's not the question. XP says Trent. Honestly, Trent. I hold my hands up with everybody. I think Trent clears. Arbeloa 100%. Trent definitely clears Arbeloa 100%. I agree with that. Arbeloa, defensively, I would say Arbeloa is much better. But overall, attacking-wise and passing-wise, creativity-wise, it's all Trent, bro. It is all Trent. So you got to put respect on that. For sure, you got to put respect on that. Let's move on. Dean Housen and Sergio Ramos. Who would you go with, chat? Is this even a serious question? Sergio Ramos versus Dean Housen. Think about it, bro. Think about it. Who would you go with? Housen? Get out of here, bro. What the F? That's not even a comparison. That's what I'm saying, chicken. That's not even a comparison, bro. It's not even a comparison. How people are comparing. We talked about Zubimendi already. If you missed the show, I'm going to put the chapters in. But this is something that we're looking at before we wrap up the show. Something really interesting that I really wanted to discuss, right? Ramos all day, right? We don't even need to spend time. Ramos clears Dean Housen, right? Let's move on. Kanate versus Pepe. Who we going with, chat? Kanate versus Pepe. Who we going with? I'm going to say, honestly, if you think about it, Pepe clears him. Bro. Pepe clears him. Who clears who? Pepe clears him. Pepe easy. Tony says Pepe, Pepe, Pepe. I think everybody's saying Pepe. Yeah, Pepe definitely clears him. Pepe definitely clears him. That's Lamine Yamal. It's not a baby. It's Lamine Yamal, bro. It's Lamine Yamal crime, bro. Relax. Relax. It's Lamine Yamal, bro. Pepper says IB. He is Pepper. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Cucurella versus Marcelo. Who's better? Cucurella versus Marcelo. Who's better? So let's keep in mind, chat. Let's keep in mind. We said Courtois is winning. I mean, is better than Casillas. We said Trent is better. We said Ramos and Pepe are better. And now we're talking about Marcelo. Only Marcelo clears. Marcelo clears. Marcelo clears. Cucurella 100%. Again, this is what we're talking about back in the days. You guys don't know anything about the Madrid team back in the days. You just don't know. You don't know. Let's move on in the middle of the park. Valverde against who? Valverde against Xavi Alonso. Alonso eats Valverde. For me, he eats him alive week in, week out. 100% Xavi Alonso is better than Valverde. Yes or no, chat? Yes or no? Xavi any day. Any day. Alonso. Exactly. Everybody saying Alonso. Everybody saying Alonso. Chica says, I prefer Valverde. Look, you can like Valverde. You can like Valverde, but I'm asking who's better. Who's better? I'm asking who's actually better. That's the question I'm having. Xavi all day. Again, let's move on. Let's move on. I mean, back in the days, the team we had is just incredible. Khedira. Take a look at Khedira now. Khedira versus Tchouaméni. Who would you take? Khedira versus Tchouaméni. Who would you take? Khedira. I'm going with Khedira. I think Khedira complements the midfield. I think Khedira with Xavi Alonso is a much better pairing than Tchouaméni and Valverde. You understand? It's a much better pairing than Tchouaméni and Valverde. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. That's a tough one, says Tony. XB says Khedira. Chicken says Khedira. I think a lot of people are going with Khedira. I see that Pinard is going with Tchouaméni. Dion says Khedira caused because he's a left-footed guy. Exactly right. At least Tchouaméni says predicts. I don't think so. I don't think Tchouaméni is better than Khedira. In my opinion, he's not better than Khedira. I'll keep it 100 with you. That's not how I see it. Let's move on to number 10. Jude Bellingham. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be fascinating, bro. Bellingham. Wait for it. Bellingham versus Mesut Ozil. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Who would you take? Who would you take? Bellingham or Ozil? Spam it in the chat right now. I want to see who wins. Spam it in the chat right now. Ozil. Jude is generational. Ozil. Honestly, Bellingham. Ozil was amazing. Man, there's a lot of Ozil. Yo. There's a lot of Ozil fans in the chat. I must admit. I see some Jude, but there's a lot of people saying Ozil. But I'm going to say Ozil. I'm joking. I'm going to say Jude Bellingham. I think I'm going to say Jude Bellingham. You know why? It's not because Jude Bellingham can create more than Mesut Ozil. It's the fact that Jude Bellingham is a guy that could also be used as a 6. I don't think you can play Ozil as a 6. But Jude Bellingham could also operate in that position. Jude Bellingham has got more goals. Does Jude Bellingham has more assists? No. So assist-wise, you've got to say Mesut Ozil is better than Jude Bellingham creating chances. But Jude Bellingham is not just about creating chances. Jude Bellingham is about defensive work. It's about working for the team. It's about energy. It's about being box to box. It's about scoring goals. It's about a whole another different stuff, right? It's a package with Bellingham. So Bellingham he gives you like a whole different attribution from one player versus Özil is just a specialist in assist. Assist. That's it. He's not really good at dribbling. His main thing is just assisting. So if you're just talking about that, I think Özil is better. But if you're talking as a player, who's better? I think Jude Bellingham is a better player. That's the way I see it. That is the way I see it, chat. All right, let's move on. Of course, let's move on. This is the next one. Man like Yan Diomande. We haven't really seen Diomande, so it's going to be hard. Diomande versus Di Maria. Who's better, chat? It should have been Gareth Bale, right? It should have been Gareth Bale. I agree. It should have been Gareth Bale, but José Mourinho never had Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. Di Maria. Bro, didn't Real Madrid say they don't have interest in Zubimendi? They did not say that. We covered the show at the start. If you missed it, you can go back and watch it. This is something that we're just doing to have some fun before we wrap up today's show. Well, since we have a little bit of time to talk about. Di Maria, no debate. Yes. I think Di Maria clears up, bro. Di Maria is the guy that carried Messi in the World Cups, in the Copa del Rey. And he didn't carry Real Madrid, but he was essential for Real Madrid winning that La Decima as well. Let's not forget, that goal came out of nowhere. The winning goal that Gareth Bale scored came from Di Maria just dribbling past two players in extra time. Out of nothing, absolute nothing. He created that chance, and that's how we were able to win that Champions League. Let's not forget that. So Di Maria, for me, is exceptional. I really, really like Di Maria. He is an unbelievable player. He could dribble, he could score goals, he could assist, he could defend as well. I think he is an exceptional player, bro. Exceptional player. So for me, I think Di Maria clears Diomande. I'm 100%. I think everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. Chicken says, scored crucial goals in the World Cup final. That's what I'm saying. Main says, do you remember what he did to Puyol? Oh my God. He put Puyol in a spliff. Of course, Cristiano scored that goal. He put Puyol in a spliff, and then somehow the ball ricocheted and fall to Sui. You already know. Sui control, bang, goal. But that dribble that he did against Puyol is out of this world, chat. Out of this world. I mean, if y'all haven't seen Di Maria, make sure you go back today and check out the highlights. He is exceptional. Let's move on now. We all agree Di Maria. Because we can't really talk about Diomande. The only thing we can talk about Diomande is the price tag right now. Because we haven't seen him do it for Real Madrid yet. Can Diomande have the same effect as Di Maria? We'll wait and see. I highly doubt is going to be the case. But we're going to have to wait and see if he's going to do that, right? We're going to have to wait and see. All right, this is going to become really tricky right now, chat. I think we might need to run a poll for this one. Kylian Mbappe versus Benzema. Go. I think let's spam it in the chat. Who's better? Let me run a poll. I think we need to run a poll. I'm gonna give you my answer. Oh, who's better? Mbappe or Benzema? Get your votes in. This is going to be interesting, chat. I see a lot of Mbappe. Benzema as a 9. It's a tricky one. Benzema by just a bit says AR. Life is going with Mbappe. Maxi says Mbappe. Joseph says Mbappe. Diaz says Karim caused because of his playing style. That's an interesting point. TSRF says Mbappe. Kylian says Mbappe. Mbappe. You're going to say Mbappe says might. Look, you don't know what I'm going to say. Mbappe's dictator says YH. Haris says Mbappe. Tony says who was better for the club if it was Benzema. But if you're asking who's better player, it's Mbappe. Tony has absolutely nailed it, right? Tony absolutely nailed it, I think. That's the same way I feel, right? As a team player, Benzema was exceptional for the team. For the team, Benzema was exceptional. For the team, Benzema was exceptional. If you ask me right now, would Kylian Mbappe worked with Cristiano? I would say no. Would Cristiano have the same number of goals that he had back in Jose Mourinho's era with Kylian Mbappe up top? Absolutely not. He scored all those goals because Benzema was willing to do the dirty work. Benzema was doing the link up. Benzema was unselfish. You understand what I'm saying? If it was Kylian Mbappe there, Kylian Mbappe is gonna go for goal. He ain't gonna pass to Cristiano. So Tony actually nailed it on the spot there. If it's about just looking at them as a player, Mbappe is better than Benzema. Even though Benzema has won the Ballon d'Or, Mbappe hasn't won the Ballon d'Or, I think Mbappe is better than Benzema. If I solely looking at the player. But if I look at the team structure, if I look at the chemistry up front, I think Benzema clears Kylian Mbappe. I think Benzema clears what he did back then for Cristiano and for the team is on another level compared to what Kylian Mbappe has done for Real Madrid so far. In my opinion, that's how I see it. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let me see the chat. Yeah, it's almost 50-50 though. Look, I got Kylian Mbappe on my background, bro. I got Kylian Mbappe on my wall, bro. That's what I have. I have the two generational GOATs, bro. I mean, this one is the GOAT, but this one potentially could become the GOAT, the next GOAT, the mini GOAT, I call. And then in the middle, who do you think I have in the middle, by the way? Who do you think I have in the middle? Can somebody guess? I don't think y'all have seen it. Who do you think I have in the middle? Because I got somebody in the middle. Who do you think it is? Guess. Everybody guess in the chat. Everybody guess in the chat right now. And I'm going to talk about the last player that is left. And then we're going to wrap up. Zidane, R9, Neymar, Benzema, Khedira. You think I'll put Khedira on my on my wall? Khedira's not that good, bro. Ramos, Zizou, Vini. R9. All right, let me reveal it. It is Zinedine Zidane. It is Zizou. Smash I like for Zizou, bro. Anyways, some of you guys got it. Some of you guys got it wrong. Vasquez. Some people saying Vasquez is crazy, man. Why the hell would I put Vasquez? I like Vasquez, but why the hell would I do that? All right, let's move on. The last one, of course, I don't think we need to discuss this, right? Vinicius Jr. versus CR7. Who you taking? Vinicius Jr. versus CR7. If I see anybody typing Vinny in the chat, I'm going to lose my mind. Let me see. Maximum says, I thought Perez. Florentino Perez. So. You already know who the GOAT is. Look at Parna. Parna says Vinicius. Chicken says Vinicius. You guys are absolute haters, bro. Focus says, for the moment, I thought it was Messi. Get out of here, man. I'm not putting Messi in there. Rodrigo the GOAT. Look, Rodrigo was good, bro, but I can't put Rodrigo over Zidane, man. Come on. That would be ridiculous. I think that would be ridiculous. Come on. That would seriously be ridiculous. Hazard. I mean, think about putting Hazard in. Bro barely playing for Real Madrid. You think I'm going to put Hazard in there? Absolutely no chance. Jig says Mastantuano. Mastantuano, bro. That's a joke thing. That's absolutely a joke thing. Can you put Vinny? Chat, how many people want me to put Vinny ahead of Zidane? How many people want me to put Vinny ahead of Zidane? Or should I put Yan Diomande? Who should I put, chat? Who should I put? A couple of those comparisons were not even worth comparing. KG says, Focus, I agree with you. Can you put Vinny Jr.? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. All right. All right, let me do a poll. Before we wrap up, let me do a poll. Right? Who should go on the wall? All right, give me the options. Give me the options, chat. One of them is Vinny. The second one is what? Bellingham. And then the third one is Goulart. Who else? And then the fourth one is Ramos. I'm not putting Messi in there, bro. Get involved before we wrap up. Man, it's been a good show. I enjoyed it, chat. I absolutely enjoyed it. It's a something different, something fun that I thought I could bring into the show today. Normally we focus 100%, Madrid daily, but and we did have a bit of a news today as well, but I wanted to bring this up. I saw it on my DM and I'm like, yo, it's going to be interesting to actually have this conversation with everybody to see what they think about these players. But it was fun. But let's see how many people are saying. So looking at the poll right now, I am seeing, Vinny and Bellingham is so close. And then Arda Güler is 25%. Ramos is 46%. It's got to be Ramos then. It's got to be Ramos. If you want Rodrigo, spam it in the chat. Khedira, hell no, chicken. Hell no. Beckham. Is Beckham a legend for Real Madrid or is he a legend for Manchester United? I think Beckham is a legend for Manchester United, not for Real Madrid. I don't think he's done much for Real Madrid. I mean, he did okay, but I don't think he's done much for Real Madrid when you compare it with, let's say, Manchester United. I think he's done a lot more for Manchester United than Real Madrid. That's how I see it, bro. That's how I see it. Put Courtois, no, thank you. I think Ramos clears it. I might put Ramos in there, bro. I might just put Ramos in there. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I might just put Ramos in there. But it's been a good show. Thank you all for watching. Look, we're definitely gonna be back later on tonight with some sort of updates as well in regards to Real Madrid. But if you have missed the show, I'm gonna put some chapters in. You can check it. But look, to close it, I mean, this is Zubimendi is still an option. Zubimendi is being considered. Arsenal are open. Reportedly are listening to offers. Chelsea are interested. The price is huge. This is exactly how transfer race is going to begin. And I'm not saying, Zubimendi is going to be Madrid's player, but I'm saying that Madrid now have a decision to make. Do you stay on the sideline or do you entertain the Zubimendi conversation? You guys let me know your thoughts. What do you think about that? Would you pay 90 amps or closer to 90 amps for Zubimendi? And if not, what's the maximum you would pay for him? And also, what do you think about Mendy, Asencio? Who should be sold? Who should be the priority? And thoughts about Camavinga as well. Should Camavinga stay or should he go? Give me your thoughts in the comment sections. As always, big up to every single one of you. Smash a like on your way out. I'll see you guys later on. All right. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace. Hala Madrid.